Hello and welcome to another episode of The Growth Show. I'm your host, Whitney Bateson. And today we are going to be talking about investing in your business. And I'm going to be speaking a lot from my own experience. I've made some investments in my business recently. I've made some investments in the past, some that went really well, some that I'm still waiting to see how they're going to go, and then some that did not go well. I'm sure you've been in that boat too. And so I want to use those as examples and to kind of use that as a framework for the questions that I want to take you through today. And, right now for you, maybe one of the things you might be weighing is investing in your website. And if a website is right for you and a worthy investment in your business. So I think these are really important questions to be asking yourself for that kind of investment or any kind of investment, honestly, in your business, any kind of purchase that you're making for your business that isn't like something you absolutely need or paying a person. Like, what is this investment and is it a good one? Before we dive into them, and honestly, these are really good questions. I'm very excited to share them with you. So today we're going to be talking about how to evaluate making an investment, a specific investment. But when it comes to your website, a website is a great investment in your business. But I understand that there may be chances that you've been burned before where you've invested in a website. Either you've actually spent money on it or you've just spent your time creating it and it hasn't panned out. Or maybe you're seeing other business owners with really successful websites and you're wondering, how much did they have to spend to get that site? What's the secret? Don't worry about it. You can come to this class and find out everything. So it's called the Client Generating Website Formula, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to have on your website in order to make it a client generating system, an automated one that's bringing people in every day into your business, and how you can be turning those visitors that are coming to your site into loyal clients and leads and booked calls on your calendar. And I'm going to walk through the 6 essential elements that every nutrition and wellness professional's website needs to have on the site in order for it to be successful. So all of those people you see that have successful websites, they have these things on them. But sometimes it can be tough to reverse engineer and look at someone's site or business and really kind of figure out what's going on behind the scenes that's making it successful. So that's what we're going to drill into. And I'm going to give some really concrete examples of that too, so you can really see how that all works. And we'll also talk about how to increase your client list and the number of potential prospects and leads that are coming into your business and how you can turn them into clients and have more clients regularly in your business. And we'll also be talking about how to get more eyeballs on your website too, because that's really important. We want the website itself to be converting visitors into leads, but then we need to have more visitors to the site as well. So we'll be talking about that. So if you would like to grab your free seat, this is my free training, go to whitneybateson.com/formula. It's happening June 17th and 18th. So pick whichever time slot works best for you. And I hope you come see and learn a lot with me there. All right, let's get into the topic of the day, which is what questions you should be asking yourself when you are weighing an investment in your business. So when I talk about investments, let me just define that too. I'm talking about like a program or a tool or a course or a mastermind or paying for a service like a website, for example. I'm not necessarily talking about like hiring a VA. I guess you could, but these questions that you're going to hear me go through aren't necessarily tied to that, but I'm sure you could maybe massage some of them to help you evaluate that. But it's really about investing in like some kind of deliverable or result that you're looking to get. So the first question, and these are all kind of like question with multiple questions within them. So this is all under one question. First, I would be wondering and asking, what is the expected result? Both direct and indirect. So direct would be obviously, okay, more clients, more revenue, more income, getting a course launched, getting, XYZ delivered. But then also indirectly, are you going to have more confidence? Are you going to feel better about going out and marketing your services or go and do some other thing? So it's not necessarily a direct, tangible result, but it is some kind of indirect thing that you're realizing is holding you back from moving forward. And so you need that result. So what is that result? Define first what that is. And what is it worth to you? if it's not worth very much to you right now, then maybe this isn't the right time to invest in this. But if it's worth a lot to you, then that's probably a good sign that this is something you really need to be thinking about. And as we go through the other questions, maybe you'll find, you know what, this is worth a lot to me, but it turns out that this option or this solution is not necessarily the right one, but I know that this is important, so I need to keep looking for what is going to be that right solution and that tactic or metric or vehicle that's going to get me there. And then the final thing, so what's that worth to me? Does the investment that I'm making in this thing match the value that I'm placing on that result? So let me talk you through some examples, like I mentioned, of recent investments for me. So I am working on updating some of my trainings in my programs, so my sales trainings. And this is another one of those things where reverse engineering can be a little tough sometimes. So the webinar structure and the webinar framework, especially for a sales focused webinar, it should follow some specific things to really kind of elicit the aha moments and realizations and address objections and all of that. And you can watch other people's webinars and think they're really good, but then you have to study them a whole lot to actually pick apart, okay, why was it so good? So what you can do instead is just buy someone's webinar framework or webinar training, and then they'll tell you, and it demystifies all of it. And that is what we do with our website program as well. It's not magic. It's not some crazy thing. There is a framework and a method to follow. And so the training that I was thinking about was only $200. And this was for a sales webinar. So if I could make a better focused webinar and training, it would definitely pay off because our program sells for $3,000. And so if I'm spending $200 and I feel that it can even help me improve by getting one more sale than I typically get, then it's definitely going to pay off. And to me, this is a very valuable thing that I'm working on. The direct result would be a more successful webinar. Indirectly, I would feel more confident. I would just know more about what it is that I should be putting in my webinar, and it's worth a lot. And so the investment on that training, $200 versus what I was expecting to get out of it, definitely worth it. And I think this is something to be considering when you go into evaluating things for your business. We're not necessarily going to know how many sales we're going to get from the thing, but you certainly have ideas and you have goals of how much you want to be charging your clients and how many clients you want to be seeing in a week or in a month, or, you have a new program and how many people you want to enroll in it. And be thinking about, okay, this thing is supposed to be helping me achieve this result. And how much is that result actually worth? And if this thing could help me get there, then would it be worth it? So that's the whole ball of questions in part one. Now, let's go to the set of questions in section 2. Question number 2. What would I do to achieve that result if I don't invest? And then which feels more likely to succeed? And this is something that, so again, going to my example, and actually I use a different example because I just invested in, I think this may have been one of the largest investments I've made in my business to date in terms of, or at least in recent years, in a mastermind. And so I was thinking about it, and we've been already doing some of the things that were in that mastermind. And so it wasn't like it's going to be something completely new. But when I thought about what would I be doing to achieve the result that this person is talking about that would be achieved as a result of the mastermind, do I think that I'm going to be successful doing what I'm currently doing versus if I were to join her mastermind and program and get her guidance? And what truly would I be doing? And I am doing things it's mainly focused around ads and funnels and sales and all of that. And I'm definitely doing that stuff. I'm working hard. I'm learning a lot. My team and I are working really hard. So there's definitely not work not happening. There's a lot of action happening. But I just feel at this point like I had hit a wall and I really needed someone else to guide a little bit more, give a little bit more structure. And so I felt like I had kind of already tapped out my capabilities in doing it the way I had been doing it. and what would be happening. So let's turn that around for you and let's use the website as an example. So let's say you don't have a website right now and you are thinking about investing in a website. Maybe you've come to one of my prior trainings and you know the value of a website, or you've just been listening to me and you know that you need a website. Every business does need a website. I just want to clarify that. There are a lot of platforms out there. We think that, oh, maybe we can just go off of Instagram or something, but you need that online presence and that storefront and that one place where you're sending people, where all of your information is housed, where people can always go. So you need a website. But the question often is, how are you going to get that website? Are you going to do it yourself? Are you going to hire a designer? Are you going to enroll in a program like mine where we work with you to get it launched? So it's very kind of a collaborative effort. So if you think about, okay, I need a website. I know I need one. I want one. I'm considering investing in some way. If I don't invest, what am I going to be doing instead to get the website up? Okay, maybe I saw some templates that I could buy for Squarespace, and this person says that they give all of the resources and okay, it looks pretty good, but there's no support involved. And so I get the training, but I'm not going to necessarily get any feedback on it. And I can't really tell how all of this works necessarily or all of the detail on it, but maybe that's the thing I'm going to do. How likely do you feel you will succeed with that versus maybe another option? Or if you're like, I'm just going to do it myself completely. I'm not even going to buy anything. I'm just going to go to Squarespace, start an account, and just log in and figure it out because I've watched enough trainings. I heard enough things from people. I'm just going to figure it out. And just think about, okay, does that really feel good? Do I really feel like that's going to be successful? Maybe based on other things that you figured out in your business and things that were difficult or easy. And maybe you come to the realization that, no, I think it's going to be fine. But then you would put some kind of limit on you figuring it out, I would say, because also a website is only good if it's launched. So if it's going to take you 3 to 6 months to get that site launched, and it's actually going to take you like 20 hours a week to get it launched, I would really track your time and look at that. Then I don't think that's very likely to succeed, actually. So just keep that in mind. And sometimes it can be tough because we can maybe have these expectations around, I can do it, I can figure it out. But then we have to be realistic about either what's happened in the past or also just like how good does that feel, that solution versus having someone help you do it. I know for me, especially when I invested in this mastermind, I was like, I really want someone to help me a little bit more. I don't like that idea of me continuing to do what I'm doing. So for me, that was my answer to number 2. Okay, now let's go into number 3. What makes me think this will work for me? What makes me think that this is going to work? And is this opportunity closely related to the result that I want to be achieving? Do I understand how the result is going to be achieved through whatever this thing is that I'm investing in? Do I trust this person? Do I understand the process? So that was a little bit, I was jumping ahead in the last one talking about like that example of the Squarespace templates and where it was like, I actually don't know how this is going to work. I've never learned from this person before. I don't really know much about them. I don't know anyone who's worked with them before. So maybe it's not such a great investment. Or maybe you can say, okay, I'm going to invest, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to kind of decide like when it doesn't work because it's possible that I didn't know enough going in. So let's just recap those questions one more time. So what makes me think that this is going to work for me? That's where getting enough information about what it is really important. And is this opportunity closely related to the result, and how do I understand how the result's going to be achieved? So what I mean by that is if the result of the program is to launch a website or get you more clients from Instagram, then what is the program actually like? What is the process? And are they tied together? So it's okay, I'm going to go through this process and it's going to lead to this result versus it being something where it's going to just meander over here and go through maybe this training, but it turns out that it doesn't really seem like it's going to yield a direct result that I'm looking for, more clients, more leads, more email subscribers, more followers, whatever. mean even more followers doesn't necessarily mean more clients. So I guess that could be an example where it's okay, we're going to help you go viral and we're going to increase all of your followers. But what you're looking for is more clients and more customers. Is this really going to help you get more customers? I would be looking in that specific program to see, okay, how are we bridging that gap of that's great that you're going to help me figure out how to go viral on TikTok or Instagram, but how is that going to lead to me making more money and making my investment back and growing my business and all the time that I spent learning this and implementing it and all that, how is that actually going to lead to me making more money? So I would really just ask those questions and be curious. And I'm happy to, I share a lot of information. I want people to really understand what our program is about and what the process entails and how we go about it and all of that. I'm an open book. During our launches, I have an open house. I go through everything. I open up our program. I open up the templates. If you go to the demo on our website, I'm showing you behind the scenes because I want you to know. And that's what I want to know when I'm investing. I want to know, do I understand how this is going to work? How is this result going to be achieved? Does this make sense to me? Because another thing that can happen is that we can be out there looking for solutions, and there can be some really well-meaning, well-intentioned people, service providers out there, and they're telling us, you need this, you need this. I have a solution to help you get there. But then they don't really make it clear exactly how it's going to work. But then we feel like, this doesn't make sense to me because I don't know. I'm learning from this person. I don't know yet. And so maybe once I invest, then I'll know how it's going to work. And I don't want to sound dumb, asking a question that seems basic. There are no dumb questions. If you are investing in a program and you're investing in working with a person and giving them your money, then you have every right to ask every question to make sure that you feel 100% confident in that investment, in that decision. I think it's really important, especially when it's a larger investment. I was talking about that $200 investment that I made in the webinar training program. So that was with Mariah Cause. She's wonderful. I've been listening to her podcast. I'm in her school community, but I hemmed and hawed over that investment even because I don't want to just buy things for the heck of it. I want to make sure that they're going to be good. And because I had heard her trainings and learned from her before, I did trust her that when I gave her that $200 and I logged into that platform, that there was actually going to be good substantive information in there and not just a lot of fluff that I already knew. Because I've already been doing webinars. I know the general structure. I was looking for something that was really going to go deeper. And so I did trust her. And so that was one of those check boxes of, yes, I do trust her and I understand. And I was seeing some things of how she approaches webinars and all of that I felt pretty good that this was going to be useful. And then at the end of the day too, I was like, it's $200. I'm expecting to make more money off of this than just $200. Now it's time to just move forward and decide. So that was also a little bit of, okay, keep it in perspective. Okay, let's go to the last question. Number 4. This is an important one as well. It will force you to really reflect inwardly and be honest with yourself. If I invest, can I commit to seeing it through? So this is one where we need to understand the process. We need to understand the work involved from us. And then can we commit to actually taking whatever this investment is and going all the way with it? And so I'll give another example and story of an investment I made that did not work out. And this was to start helping me get more audience growth. It was going to be about pitching to outlets, potentially news outlets, Harrow, and getting more in the news and all that kind of stuff. And the person that I invested with was someone who was recommended to me. So from a trust perspective, I trusted her. But when we talked, I didn't quite understand actually what we were going to be doing exactly. And I wasn't sure that she fully understood my business. And then and so I thought I was ready to see it through. And then as time went on and the things that she was telling me I needed to do, like I signed up for Harrow and I needed to pitch to these places to be, featured guest. For any of you who have done media appearances and brand work, you know what I'm talking about. It turned out that I really did not want to be doing that. I did not want that to be a to-do list item on my list. And it was just not, no. And luckily I invested just on a month-to-month basis with this person. And so after a little bit, it just became clear that this is not the kind of stuff I want to be doing. I don't like this. It's stressing me out. Either I need to find some help and support to help me do this and implement this, or this is not for me because this is just not the kind of work I want to do. So that's just one example of where it's, you know what, if it turns out that this just is not the work you want to do, then so be it. But I think on the flip side of it, so this mastermind that I have joined is a big commitment. It's a year-long program. It's a large investment. And I had to think to myself, am I committed to seeing it through? Am I willing to put in the work? And I really do want to see it through. I want to believe in it because I already went through these questions. I trust the person that I invested with. I'm excited to work with her. I'm excited to learn from her. I'm excited to really make some movement and take some more action in my business and all of that. And so I am committed to seeing it through and figuring out ways to really do that. So I think that's something that's important to think about. And the same goes with our program, the Wellness Pro website system. And I get it. Things come up. We have other commitments and all of that. But we do have this program that is very guided. It's very step by step. You take this step and then this one, you follow through and do these things. And that's what I like people to see. I want you to launch your site. I want you to be successful. And so if you are considering a program like mine where you are putting in some work, although again, with a web designer, you're still going to be putting in work with them too. But with our program, you are more hands-on. You're getting our help, but you are more hands-on. That you are going to commit to make that progress every week. And, you know, our clients say they spend between 4 to 8 hours a week for the 8 weeks of the program, give or take, on getting everything done. And so I think it's just important when you're making those investments that you're kind of setting aside that mental space to say, yeah, I'm going to see this through. And the great thing about our program is it's short and sweet, you know, and it's this final deliverable. It's the website. We're going to get the website launched and then it's done. Then you can move on. Then you have a website. It's off your plate. And I think that can be really freeing as well. Those are the questions. What's the expected result? What would I do to achieve that result if I didn't invest in this specific thing? What makes me think that this is going to work for me? And if I invest, can I commit to seeing it through? So I think those are really strong questions to ask yourself. I hope you find a lot of value in asking them to yourself and get some ahas from it. Maybe even use them to reflect on any past investments, both good or bad, to see if there were maybe some red flags that you didn't even realize at the time, because maybe some of these questions ended up actually not having very good answers to them. So I just want to leave you with some final thoughts when it comes to investing. Again, from someone who I invest in my business, but I grapple with investing in my business all the time. Sometimes I'm very quick to invest. Other times I hem and haw for so long and I vacillate. And other times I just decide it's not the right time and say, no, I'm just not going to invest. So all of that is totally normal and fine. Sometimes I beat myself up because I think I take a really long time to make these decisions and these investment decisions. This mastermind one actually felt like kind of a quick, fast decision. But luckily I felt like all these questions passed the test, so it was good. But sometimes it happens fast, sometimes it happens slow, and that's it. But the thing that we don't want to do is make this decision from fear or emotion, good or bad, fear of success, fear of failure, or we're like super excited or super angry with what's going on. And so we make these like snap decisions. So those are never good decisions. We do want it to be a thoughtful one. And I'll say too that investing by its nature is about making a bet. You are betting when you are investing. We try to make an educated guess, have as much information as possible, like I was sharing, so that it's not a gamble. It's a bet, but we don't want it to be a gamble. And the great thing about investing in yourself and in your business is that you have a heck of a lot more control on the outcome than investing in the lottery, for example. Because while you're betting on a program or a solution, so you are betting on how good is this program, you're also betting on yourself. Now, if you don't believe in yourself enough to make that bet, if you are just not sure about your own self following through on that, then that's something else to dig into. That's fine. I've done a lot of work over the years on my mental and just emotional health when it comes to business even. So that's okay. Confidence is something I struggle with, have struggled with, continue to struggle with. But that could also mean that, you know what, it turns out that I need to get more support around this, that DIY isn't going to cut it, that I need coaching, I need handholding. That's fine. So just use that information, whatever feelings come up around making these decisions, and use that to just guide what your next step is rather than feeling like there's something wrong with you or you're not cut out for business or whatever. All thoughts that I've had. And another thing I'll say is that I know that we need to find the money a lot of times for these investments. It's not comfortable, it's scary, but it's exciting too, right? And if you have gathered the answers to these questions and you're seeing that with this investment, you stand to gain so much more, then make that bet on yourself and honor the bigger vision that you have for yourself and your business and make that investment. I will say that I am not in a money abundance place right now making this mastermind investment, but I know and feel that it is the right decision for me. So we're usually not sitting in a place of I'm sitting on a pile of money and I'm going to invest in this thing that's going to make me more money. A lot of times we're sitting on a small few stacks of money and we're investing on something that has that possibility to bring us a lot more. And that can be a really tough place to make investing decisions from. So I just want to normalize that as well. But just keep in mind that is the nature of the investing and the growth in our businesses. All right. So I will wrap it up here. In the training I'm giving next week, just so you know, I will be going over our program to help you launch your site, the Wellness Pro website system, so that you can gather the information that you need to make that informed decision if this is the right program, if working with me and my team is the right solution for you to get your website, either a new website or you have a website and you really need a better one. You need one that's actually supporting your business. But even more importantly, in the class, I'm going to be showing you exactly how a website can bring you more clients, plug holes in your current marketing efforts, and really go over how and why it's worthy of being one of your business investments. So I really want you to feel that. I can tell you all day long that you need a website, but I want you to really see the value of it. And there's some unexpected values that I think come from having a website. The training is called the Client Generating Website Formula, and we're really going to dig into those key things that you need on your site if you want it to be successful in getting you clients and getting you new prospects. So this is information that every business owner needs to have, no matter what. And I really hope that you will join me. So you can grab your free seat. It's free at whitneybateson.com/formula. We'll also have that in the show notes. It's happening the 17th and 18th of June. And I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it resonated with you. If you have a colleague or friend who is grappling with investing in their business right now, please share this with them so that they can be thinking about these questions and hopefully moving forward with confidence to continue to grow. We're all in this together. It is a struggle, but it is also really exciting. And I'm there for ride with you. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you next week on The Growth Show.